What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the late edition of the lunch break this Thursday. Hope all you guys are doing well. It has been one crazy morning, and I am running behind. I apologize for being late. Normally we go at 12. What's up, everybody on Instagram? Glad you guys could join us. You can jump in the comment section. Take a while for people on YouTube. I normally do this at 12 o'clock, and due to life and life circumstances, they got in the way a little bit. So we're going to talk about that. But anyway, glad you guys can make it tonight at 8 o'clock. What's up, Jake? Tony? Guys, it has been a morning. It has been a morning, and I will share that with you guys here in a second. I haven't even had time really to prep for the show today. And I know because we're an hour late, it's going to screw up everybody's schedule. We probably won't have our regulars here like we normally do. Just say you shat your pants. No, I didn't do that. Let me tell you something. We'll go ahead and we're going to dive right into it. I had a great, last night I was sitting there and I was listening to you, Tony, on your thing and doing emails, and I had today's show kind of planned out, and life got in the way. I'm here to pulling out 170 safes for inventory. Got to move everyone. Good Lord, Jake. That is crazy. So anyway, yesterday my wife went to the dentist and she had a cap broke on her on one of her teeth. She had a cap put on. Hell, I don't even remember her doing it. So last night she says, "Hey, I got oral surgery at 9:45 in the morning." And so I'm thinking, okay, it's in Dawsonville, 9:45, be out 10:45, have her back to the house, 11:30, be up here, do the show. And that's right about when it went to crap. That's right about the time it just went to crap this morning. And so if you ever had one of them days, I can tell you right now, I got that Limp Bizkit song just at 110 plus volume going on in my head where you just want to just pop people. You know, you guys know me. I am just a happy, ever-loving little fat guy from North Georgia that likes to talk fishing. But it's just this morning, it seems like if it could go wrong, it went wrong. All right? And so I'm just telling you guys, it's just that. So we'll talk about it. Oh, yeah. So we're gonna do a little bit of a reverse from what I had planned on talking about. And we're just going to talk about this morning. And how when things start going bad, and now listen, I'm not in China making Nikes, okay? So let's keep it relative as to what really bad is, okay? So it's not that bad, but I'm the kind of guy that I like to get up in the morning, I like to go to the shop. If I got this lunch break due every day, I'm ready for it. I look forward to it, and I don't like stuff to deviate from certain things. And so it started off deviating. But first of all, let's talk about this because this Chris Bowers. Got to take care of the wife. 100%. She's more important than anything I do. But let's talk. This is how my brain works. You know, you guys, I talk about, hey, we're going to figure out what I want to talk about the morning of. Well, this is it. My wife is a badass. Straight up, the baddest woman I know. She is she's tough as nails. Hulk Hogan just passed. Everybody's dying, and I'm scared. Wow. See, it's one of them days. I hadn't heard that. Jeremiah, I ain't even had a chance to be on social media hardly at all this morning. So there you go. If you guys were fans of wrestling, I hate it that one of your heroes just passed away. Got some bad news for you. As you age, it does not get any better, Tim Hancock said. Yeah, buddy, I'm figuring that out. She's bad. And let me just tell you, when I met her, what's up, Farmer? When I met her back when I met her at 18 years old. Let's just say she was feisty. Okay, feisty is the word for it. She's a brawler. 71 cardiac arrest, Hulk Hogan. Gosh, dog. I didn't have that on my bingo card for today. I really didn't. And you guys on Instagram, the way we run it, if this first time here, just jump on with a comment and question, just like the guys on YouTube and Facebook are doing. I didn't have that on my bingo card today. So, but my wife, she is absolutely one of the toughest people I know. Okay. I watched her, for those that know her, those that don't, my wife had thyroid. She was feisty and he liked it. Hell yeah, I did. Yeah, I did. She had thyroid cancer 10 years ago, something like that. And she went to the regular doctor and she said, "You got a couple knots on you. I'd like you to go get checked out." So she scheduled, I'm just kind of showing you guys how tough my wife is. So she scheduled an appointment for the whatever it is doctor, the specialist to check that stuff out. And he did a little pap smear, whatever. What them things go with and check the babies out. You know, they put the stuff on you and they rub it in and you see the baby and the baby heartbeat and all that. Well, he did that on her neck. It's Tim White. Someone better call and check on Ric Flair. Shit happens in threes. Hell, I hope it ain't me, Tim. I just hope it ain't me, but you're right, it does. Ultrasound, Coleman. So she got an ultrasound on her neck. And this little Indian doctor, he was awesome. I just can't remember his name, and I probably couldn't pronounce it because I'm sure it's got way too many damn consonants in it for me. But he walked out of the room, just straight up walked out of the room. He come back with a needle about 6 inches long, and he proceeded to biopsy her with absolutely nothing to deaden it, no anesthesia, no nothing. He just straight up stuck that needle right in her throat, both sides. And I watched my wife sit there and just take it. And I'm sitting there like, God, she's tough. I mean, I was teared up watching her just do that. But she's a badass. When it comes to you want to talk about a tough wife, I watched the doctor stick a needle into her throat all the way to her spine. No numbing, no anesthesia. Tim Hancock, that's exactly what I'm talking about. Same thing with my wife. Just straight up both sides in her thyroid, biopsied it right there on the spot. When it comes to babies, my wife is like a Ford assembly plant. I'm serious. Just crank some things out. They ain't none of this 24 hours laying around whooping hopping drama. They stick that epidural in her back, and within an hour, that thing's just kids out. None of this drama stuff. She cranks it. She is a badass. Robert, I'll get with you, buddy. I'll get with you, Rob. She's a badass. I'm telling you, Bucky's beaver ain't got nothing on my wife's. I'm just telling you. Boom. She cranks them out. That brisket. Got some brisket here. That's the way my wife is. Just one of the baddest people on the planet. What's up, Doc Holiday? No, I didn't. Yeah, no, Alex, it wasn't that this morning. I'm just trying to tell you how bad my wife is. Except for one thing. One thing. That's a hell of a sight, watching your child being born, then cutting the cord. Just dropping kids out like a gumball machine is crazy. Danny's trying to get brownie points for later. I ain't getting none tonight, boys. I can tell you right now. Then you'll understand why in a second. All right. Danny is going home. That Iron Dome is already triggered right now. But she's a badass in everything she does, except the dentist. My gosh, guys, listen. I love her. She's going to get pissed off at me for saying this, but this is how my day goes. I love her. But you'd have thought we would schedule an open heart surgery with a side of whatever other kind of surgery they could do because she was just getting a tooth pulled out. I mean, she's worried. She's irritable. She's just moody. She thinks that, something's going to happen on that operating table today while they pull her tooth. All right, so already I'm sitting, and listen, you guys know me, I'm funny. I got to try to crack a joke at everything. Nothing I was saying was working this morning. Y'all ever had that ride with your wife where nobody's speaking whatsoever? You guys that are married know the ride I'm talking about. We get up this morning and we start driving to the dentist, and it's just like, geez Louise, y'all have thought I did anything that a husband could do wrong. Y'all have thought I did it this morning. Just quiet. Just absolute silence on the way there. And then you get there at 9:45. All right, we're pulling a tooth, guys. And I'm sitting here, and I already pissed her off because I said last night, I went, damn, 9:45. I said, hell, I got a show to do at 12. Oh, sheesh. Don't say nothing about that show. It's not more important than that tooth. And in reality, it's not. It really isn't. If you don't know that ride, you ain't been married long enough. I had a bone marrow biopsy. I'd rather have that than have a cavity filled. So Tim, you don't like it either. My wife is like that with her eye appointments. I mean, like, guys, this morning I was dealing with some serious shit. So we're having that thing. I made her mad because I was like, I don't want to miss the show tomorrow. So I shouldn't have done that. I shouldn't have done that. But anyway, so we're doing that right. We get there at 9:45. All right, we're pulling a tooth. Okay. I thought I had a tooth pulled. I'm missing a tooth. I went in there, paid some dentist up here in Dawsonville $250 and said, just get it out. Boom. I was out of that place in 30 minutes. Bunch of galls in my mouth. Yeah, whatever. No, this one required putting her to sleep. I was not aware of that this morning. So not only did they put her to sleep, they couldn't get her IV in. She got an IV for the tooth. And they tried like bless her heart, she looks like she's just been poked all over the place. And she bruises real easy. If you guys see my wife today, y'all going to think I did something. I didn't do nothing. I'm innocent. I promise. I'm sitting here and I'm looking at the clock. And it's just me and this old cat from the concrete place that came in there in the waiting room. And he got there like an hour and 30 minutes early. I guess he thought his ass was going to get in and get out. So he comes in. He comes in and he's sitting there and they got a TV on. I watched Channel 2 Action News. Oh, yeah, an IV for a tooth extraction. Well, the problem was this, because it was a cap that had broke. And so I think when they do that, they have to do something different, Tim. I don't know. I'm not a dentist, but, girlfriend works. Jeremiah, you got a girlfriend? There you go, dude. You don't ever talk about her. Girlfriend works in a dental office, so my dental stuff is pretty much free. And I think they go out of their way to make it not so bad. I couldn't do the needle in the throat, though. Me neither. But, yeah, an IV. So I'm sitting here with Billy Bob, who was an hour and a half early, trying to do a little chit-chat, and I'm watching the time. And I'm watching the time. And I'm watching the time. Steve Guthrie, she done activated the Iron Dome and built the wall, and Danny paid for it. Yes, sir. That's the way it was. So I'm just sitting there watching the time. Well, at 10:45, 10:45, the woman comes out. She goes, Pruitt family? And hell, it's just me with my wife's purse. But it's like, yeah, we're all here. We're here. So then I get walked back, and I get all the instructions. Like, I wanted to look at that woman and say, listen, honey, did y'all tell my wife this before you knocked her out? Because the second I drop her ass off at home, I'm going to work. But I had to listen to all the instructions. And then this is the best part. Now, granted, at the time, I didn't know they put her out. Okay, I didn't know she was under anesthesia. So the nurse goes, can you pull around to the back of the building and we'll wheel her out? And I'm like, for a tooth? All right, so I go out and I get the vehicle, just like you're coming out of a hospital. I go around back. I'm sitting there waiting, and here she comes, just out in a wheelchair. My wife in all her glory, looking like she got a whole pack of Red Man in her mouth. Iron Dome is put away. He's under the titanium dome now. He's done for a while. No doubt. Seriously, Tony, no doubt. But she got a big old pack of like Red Man in her mouth, and I get out and I help put her in the car. I know she's going to get some pain medicine prescriptions. I know she's going to get something like that. But here's my mind, guys. This is the way I'm working. I'm like, okay, I take her home. I go do the show. I lock the shop up. I go get her medicine. I come back. I'm here. I do some stuff. Get ready for tonight's live well. Nope. So insensitive. Done the same thing. I got caught with that look on my farmer. I don't mean to be insensitive, but it was like this. So I'm like, okay, get her in the car. And I'm thinking, all right, it's 11 o'clock now. I can be at the shop at 11:50, do the show. Oh, hell no. We got to go get that prescription right then. Now, it's funny because she can't talk. So she's going, I'm like, what the hell are you saying, woman? I mean, I did make a little video that I'll put up later on. I said, and she didn't appreciate this either. So I pulled out my phone. I hold it up, doing a little selfie. She's over there. And I'm like, guys, I finally found a secret to keeping our wives shut. And if I'd have known it worked this good, I'd have had him pull every tooth out of her mouth. I'm not lying, dude. Of course, I did that. Hit the record button, said that, and she looked over at me. She wasn't talking. She was probably putting some curse on you. No doubt. So then I got to go to the Walmart off Highway 369. Broke Bass Boys. Time to pull the Uncrustable out of the air fryer. No doubt. Tim Hancock, you'll pay for that. Yes, I will. Hey, listen. It's always easier to ask forgiveness. I found that. So we can't go to the Walmart in Dawsonville, which is 25 steps across the street. Oh, hell no. I am on the couch. We got to go to the Walmart off Highway 369. Same damn pharmacy. Doesn't matter, but we can't go to that Walmart. We got to go down 400. So by now, guys, listen, you guys know too, been listening all week. I've quit dipping. Okay. I'm not trying to quit dipping. I quit. I stopped. However, my mind is still working on that, trying to, remedy that in my head. All right. So by this time now, I know I'm going to be late for the show. I got 100,000 things to do at the shop. And I can't go to that damn Walmart. I got to go to this Walmart. So we fly on down to the Walmart. And I walk in there. And because it's hydrocodone, my wife's in the car. I walk into the Walmart pharmacy. I hand them the 2 prescriptions. One's for mouth rinse and the other's for hydrocodone. It's just glorified damn Tylenol. All right, so I hand them that. And the guy behind the thing goes, I'm going to need you to talk to the pharmacist. And by this time, I'm like, you got to be kidding me. Have I checked my blood pressure lately? I still got a smile on my face. But no, I probably need it checked. So, all right, I wait for the pharmacist to come up. She's nice. She's nice. And she starts talking to me about damn Narcan. And I'm like, what? And she goes, well, it's, your wife takes these prescriptions that she has to take certain medicines from her thyroid, having thyroid cancer. We noticed that she's on these medicines. And if you take too much hydrocodone, there's a possibility of her being addicted. And so I had to sit and listen to a presentation about Narcan. And I'm thinking, listen, at this point, I want my wife addicted on these things. It'll knock her out. She's asleep. I tell her to mix it into some Sprite. That's called a lean. Gen Z word of the day. I ain't even had time to look up my Gen Z word. But I did tell you this. I was on my phone in the doctor's office, and I was looking at some people on Twitter, and somebody used tea. You remember yesterday we talked about tea, and the guy said, hey, spill the tea. And I was like, hell yeah, I knew that. They're covering their asses. Yeah, they did. So anyway, I finally, after the Narcan presentation, go back out of the car. It's going to be 20, 25 minutes. Okay, guys, I'm sitting there looking like, I'm like, well, I ain't going to make the show. So I went out the car and I got on Facebook and said, we're going to delay the show by 1 hour. All right, just cover my butt, doing that. My wife looks over at me and she goes, are those Starbucks? You what? Are those from Starbucks? She drinks this daggum pink drink at Starbucks. Don't tell Danny about lean. We'll figure out Broke Bass Boys. We'll try lean maybe on the show tonight. I don't know. We'll figure something out. I'm like, you want Starbucks? It's that strawberry ICA, something like that. Hydrocodone is an opioid. That's why. I get it. But you got to realize, I know my wife's a machine. All right. So anyway, now she wants to go to freaking Starbucks. I'm waiting for a prescription, whatever. We fly over to the Starbucks, and she asked me if I want something, and I got one of them little girly drinks that I like, that caramel macchiato that I can't spell. We go through that, and then we get back over there, and now I got to go back in. All right, so I'm sitting there, and I'm waiting because they said 20, 25 minutes, and I know that it ain't quite been that much time because luckily the Starbucks was across the street. A Starbucks after dental work sounds like a hard no. That's what I'm saying. Everybody gets bullied by their wife or is secretly afraid of her. Is that just part of the process? Yes. If Danny pours up some lean, he's getting perma-banned on everything. I'll try not to, guys. I'll try not to. So I go back in there, and I'm waiting. And, you get the old person coming in there, and they're like, are you in line? And I'm like, no. Go ahead. I'm trying to be nice. There comes a point when you just have to accept the disaster and wait for it to end. Well, that's the way this morning was. So I'm sitting there, and finally, you know me, guys, I got to crack a joke about everything. So I go up to the little, and there's a very sweet little Indian lady, and she's running the register. She goes, I said, I'm just seeing if the prescription's ready. She goes, and I'm not even going to do an accent, guys. I'm not even going to do that. I'll get in trouble. She goes, date of birth. Me, with this one, I went 3/23/72. I don't have nothing. I just dropped it off 20 minutes ago. Hell, I was giving her my number. I had to redo it again, gave her my wife's number and all that. So the pharmacist comes back down. They were working on it, and There was other people. So I'm starting to crack jokes because she got this green drink that she's got to wash her mouth out with twice a day. So twice a day, she's got to gargle this stuff. And I'm like, and I had my sunglasses on. I had these little clippers on right there. So I'm sitting, I was like, is that stuff black? And she goes, no, it's green. I took them off. Yeah, it is. So then I got a 15-minute presentation on telling her only do it so many times because it's going to turn her teeth green if she does it too much. And here come the jokes. All right. Here come the jokes. And I'm just laying them on thick. I got everybody in that pharmacy laughing their ass off, except that little Indian woman right in front of me. She's just looking and she's smiling. And I go into another thing about the Narcan and all that. And I got jokes, guys. I got jokes, and I am just owning the pharmacy at the 369 Walmart, except for that little Indian lady. And I finally just looked at her and I went, you don't understand a damn thing I'm saying, do you? And she's just smiling. That was kind of a bright point in the morning. She's just smiling. She ain't got a clue as to what this fat redneck is saying. I'm talking about turning my wife's teeth green and getting her hooked on dadgum hydrocodone and all this stuff. And the pharmacist is just laughing her ass off. This little Indian woman she's smiling. She's smiling. So anyway, fine. We get done. We finally get done. And I go pulling out and I'm flying home. Hopefully there was a reference about Shrek that was explicit. No, I didn't have anything explicit. I didn't go that bad. But I mean, listen, I was rolling them. I was doing my best Theo Vaughn. I had it going. I had Theo going this morning. Get her home. Got to walk her, I'm making sure she don't trip over the walkway, get her up in the damn house, get her all set. I'm grabbing my computer and I'm grabbing my stuff because I'm going to fly up here. I could prescribe this special mouthwash once when I got a wisdom tooth pulled. And let me tell you, I'd rather have gargled warm piss. It looked like it. It was jet green, dude. You know what it looked like? It looked like you go to one of them ponds and they got it's that deep, dark green color. They got an algae bloom or something going on. That's what it looked like in a bottle. So I finally get my wife in the house. I let the dogs out, let them go pee real quick. Loading the truck up, coming to the shop. All right. My day is going well now. Here we go. Going to be a little late. Everybody knows it. Some people might watch, some people might not, but I got to go do the show. Other cultures sometimes don't get American humor. They look at us like we're crazy. That's exactly what she was doing. She just smiled. It's like Indiana Jones in the Temple of Doom. All them little kids down there working in that thing, and they just smile at you because they all got drugged up or something like that. That's what that woman was looking at me for. It was the most Indiana Jones in the Temple of Doom thing I've ever experienced in a Walmart. So anyway, and I listen, and I'm not down on Indian people. I just think this was funny. This time next week, I'll be eating pain meds too. I'm not looking forward to it. I know, buddy. I know. And hopefully you don't have to for too long. So I go flying home, load the truck up. Dogs are pissed. Get in the truck, flying down the road. If you guys ever noticed, and you can tell this is just Danny Rant Day, if you were in a hurry somewhere, the slowest that you could ever experience pulls out in front of you. Well, that's what happened. Now, not only did the slowest guy pull out in front of me, he pulled out in the ugliest vehicle I think I've ever seen in my life. This redneck, and I'm a redneck, so I can say it. I'm not down on him. I'm not down on him, but I am a redneck to a point. He had an old Ford Ranger from back in the 70s, guys, when Ford Rangers were big. And I got a Ford Ranger outside now, Ford effing Ranger. But somebody had taken the bed off of a smaller Ford Ranger and put it on this, and damn if it wasn't a step side as well. So now I'm irritated because he's in front of me, but now I'm looking at this truck. And I'm like, number one, I can't believe the damn thing's running. Number two, you guys ever get behind one of these homemade trucks and all that, and the bed's tilted sideways? So now I'm looking at it, my mind's just going crazy because I'm having to go 25 miles an hour up Yellow Creek Road in a daggum jacked up Ford Ranger. It was like a half-baked loaf of bread, guys. Like the front half of the loaf rose and the second half of the loaf just stayed still. I'm serious. It was just, and so I'm irritated, but it was crooked. And I'm thinking in my mind. There was a Friday night when this fella had too many PBRs and he had a couple trucks in his yard. And he looked over at Sally or whoever was there. It was a homemade truck. He's looking over at Sally or something, you know, his wife, dog's running around. He's like, baby, I bet I can make something out of those. I bet I can make something out of those. And he called Leroy and Jethro, and they came over. And they, you know, there's probably some meth involved. I don't know. Definitely has a blown suspension. Whatever it was crooked. And them boys got to work. And they took the bed off an old 70-something Ranger, one big enough to actually put something in. And then they stuck, I didn't even know, they made a step side Ford Ranger bed, and they put it there. And it looks just big enough to put a DeWalt tool case in. And he's like, baby, that looks good. This looks good. I think I'm going to drive it around. The problem was he should have worked on that motor because he stayed at 25 miles an hour all the way up. Because I had it in my mind that I told everybody I was going to go live at 1 o'clock. I have enough time that I can run up here to the Lowe's. They got a coffee shop in there, and I can get me another one of them caramel macchiatos. Isn't your truck a step side or a flare side, Danny? No, I got that Edge. It was my dad's truck. When my dad passed away, my mama gave it to me. And then I let my daughter drive it when she was at College of Rome over at Barry. And damn it, she didn't hit rear-ended half the town and backed into every other sign there. So it looks like it's been beat all the heck, but it still cranks. Betsy still cranks half the time. Sometimes it takes 1 or 2 turns, but she always cranks. She's got an exhaust leak or something like that. Not an exhaust leak, intake manifold needs replacing. So she huffs and puffs, but she cranks up. So I'm like, I thought I had it time to go get some coffee. But nope. This guy went slower and slower. And for those that don't know Yellow Creek, there ain't no passing lanes on Yellow Creek. Even though you could, it's 2-lane the whole way. And Cherokee County and Pickens County sit on it because the hot coffee lady at the Lowe's is gone. In case my wife is watching, Philip, I don't know what you're talking about. However, there was a different woman there yesterday. I know what you're saying. But I had it timed. I thought it's going to work out, Danny. But every time there was an opportunity to illegally pass, there were cars coming. So I'm stuck behind this guy. All right. And I'm thinking, all right, well, this day's just gone to shit. Finally make it to the end of the road, and I turn down, and you guys know how my mind works. For those that have never been here at Fisk, North Georgia, right beside us is a massage parlor. Now, I have never been in there. Okay? Let me go ahead and get that on record. I have never been in the massage parlor. And it ain't a Korean one or, you know, one of them kind. All right? I call that Murphy's Law day. Murphy's Law was hit today. But it wasn't one of them Korean ones or something like that where they throw the monkey on your back while they're rubbing your back down. It wasn't one of those. I think it's a legitimate massage parlor. But you guys know how my mind works. Out come from this massage parlor, okay, I'm sure she was a sweet old lady. She had to be 85 if she was 2. And then my mind instantly went from, what a crappy day I've had, to somebody just had to rub that down. That's not a rub and tug. No, it's not a rub and tug. But somebody just had to do a massage on that sweet little old lady. She got the dust knocked off. Dust hell. And so then all of a sudden my day went, you know what? If I think about it long enough, there's always somebody in this life that's got it worse than me. Why am I fussing about having to take my wife to the dentist? The Indian lady at Walmart not laughing at my jokes. The redneck in the homemade Ford Ranger hybrid / whatever the hell it was. Because at the end of the day, when I got up this morning to go earn some money, my bingo card did not include rubbing down an 80-year-old woman. Time to exercise some of that mental toughness that keeps you from spinning out during the tough day of fishing. Eddie Downs goes, be nice. No, Eddie, listen, I'm sure that woman was sweet. I'm sure she was sweet. But she had on some short shorts and a wife beater. This old woman was in a wife beater and short shorts. And she'd been in the sun too much. Lord forgive me. But I'm sitting there thinking, you know what, Danny? It ain't that bad. It ain't that bad. And so then I finally get in here, you know, get everything set up. you guys join me a little bit today and we get to talk and all that. And so life really ain't that bad. But here's my question to you guys. That was a hell of a long story to get to my question. What was she driving, Danny? Phil, I didn't look. What, you want get her plates? You need a date? So here's my question to you guys. And it started off with this conversation with my wife, about my wife. Her kryptonite in life is the dentist. Because like I told you, she's the baddest ass person I know. She is the baddest woman on the planet. Love her to death. She's the biggest pain in the ass in my life. But I could not function. I couldn't do anything, honestly, without my wife. But her kryptonite is the dentist. And so you guys that are watching, I'm going to ask you this. What's your kryptonite? Honestly, think about it. What is the one thing that happens in your life that just will put you into a panic, or like maybe it could be physical. It could be physical. It could be mental or whatever. What's your personal kryptonite? And this was not what I planned on talking about today. You know what we were going to talk about today? And we're going to wait and do it for tomorrow. When I was thinking about slang words, I found a list, okay? And I'm going to save it for tomorrow. I found a list of what they called your Johnson, if you know what I mean. Back in the 1500s, 1600s, 1700s, 1800s, and how it has transformed. And so I got some words that you guys need to hear. We'll talk about that tomorrow. That was one of the things we were going to talk about. But so Paul B says, dentists and now doctors are also my kryptonite. Farmer says needles. Broke Bass Boys, spiders. That's it, nothing else. And I appreciate you coming. I appreciate you coming by and meeting with me yesterday. I had a good conversation with you. And I'm glad you got that smallmouth. He left here. He was driving to a job site in Kentucky, and he always carries his rods with him. And at some lakes along the way, he pulled out. He caught his first smallmouth yesterday. And I thought that was pretty cool. Roger Gibson says political promises. Well, Roger, we all got a lifetime left of that because we know how that is. Coleman Jones, claustrophobic. The idea of being underwater in the dark freaks me out as well. Oh, listen to this from Rob, guys. I was a massage therapist, and my older woman clients paid me stupid money. You'd be blown away at how much money they throw at you if you make them tingle. Oh, my God, Rob. Robert Blesky, massage service here. I'll make you tingle. The older you get, the better it is. That's funny as crap, Rob. Rob, you done a little bit of everything. There's no way in the world I could be a massage therapist, guys. Number one, I ain't rubbing on no dudes. I know they make good money. I ain't rubbing on no dudes. And number two, my wife ain't going to let me rub on other women. So ain't no way that's going to happen. Alex Purrs, working overtime. Yeah, it does sound like a scene from Varsity Blues up there. Matty O, did you ask the boss if you can come on next Thursday night? He said spawning bass. Spawning bass is his kryptonite. Silverpunk, my kryptonite is having to talk to someone on the phone. I'd rather text or email. Doug Rice says wake boats. Tim's got a puke face, and I know that's what Rob said. Here's an interesting one from Fred Ashcraft. Cough syrup. Had 3 back surgeries, multiple stitches all over, but that syrup sucks. No doubt. Now, I mean, Silverpunk brings up a good point. My kryptonite is having to talk to someone on the phone. I'd rather text or email. At this point in my life, that's where I'm at. That's where I'm at. I don't mind talking to somebody on the phone. The problem is I like to think of myself as a pretty busy dude. Okay? And I love you guys. If you come in the shop and sit down in front of me where we're making eye contact, we can talk fishing for 5 hours straight. 5 hours straight. Don't bother me. I'll stop what I'm doing. But if you call me and want to have that same conversation on the phone, drives me crazy. Eddie Down says, walking into the emergency room and sitting in the waiting room. Boy, that sucks. Matt hasn't got permission yet. That's basically what that says. Colonoscopy prep and having to deal with stupidity. Yeah, but we're going to deal with stupidity for the rest of our lives. And Tim, my wife, has hounded me. I haven't done the colonoscopy thing yet. I'm 53 and I know I'm supposed to. But I just keep telling her, won't you just give me that box? Let me shit in that box. You know, he's talking about, I'm mainly talking about business related calls. Business is fine, Silverpunk. I'm to the point where, like, when I was 16, you guys got to realize us older guys here, we didn't grow up with the Snapchats and we didn't grow up with social media where you could, send a message. Hell, we didn't even have cell phones. So when we wanted to talk to our girlfriend, first of all, you had to call her house and hope like hell you didn't get a busy signal, because call waiting was kind of a niche thing back then. They just come out with it. And not everybody had it, because somebody's dad didn't want to pay an extra 55 cents a month on the phone bill for call waiting. So then you'd call 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, you getting that crap. Right about 9:30, you get your girl on the phone. And then you lay it in bed. And then I have talked and talked to girls back in the day to where, hell, I fell asleep at night. And I wake up and they're still talking. They ain't missed a damn beat. And I'm like, how long have I been out for? 25 minutes. And they beep, 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 beep. I dated one girl and she knew I fell asleep and she just sit there. He'll wake up sooner or later. But from doing that back in the day so much to now, can't do it. Can't do it. I'll look you eye and eye. We can have a conversation. I can do this right here, have a conversation. If you want to call me on the phone, something about that just at this point in my life doesn't feel right. Alex says, I hate talking on the phone too. I'll sit around and watch it go to voicemail. And I'll tell you guys this. A few of you will call. The reason I don't answer the phone a lot of times is because it either says spam risk or it don't. And I'll go, that might be a customer. And I'll pick it up and it's just somebody that figured out a way to get around that spam risk thing. Happens to me all the time. So all you guys that are in the know, if you call me, leave me a message. I'll check it eventually, or text me. Text me. Let's see. Tim, you're right. Oh, yeah. Don't put off the colonoscopy. I'm not really putting it off. I just ain't got no time. I don't care. I'll shit for a night and then let somebody stick that thing up there. I'm knocked out. If you don't mind the purge, it cleans you out. Let's see. Trey Crenshaw. Danny, you need to get in that. It ain't that bad, and some of the best sleep you'll get. Hell, it will even jumpstart your diet because you'll be guaranteed to lose at least a couple pounds. I'm going to start my diet on Monday. I was going to do it this week, but I'm figuring quitting tobacco and starting a diet. And actually, I'll let you guys know I'm off my Adderall a little bit. Trying to get off of that too. You don't need to be doing that and going on a diet. I got to eat some fat. The days of falling asleep on the phone with girls. Yeah, I know. And Broadcast Boys, that's crazy. I can talk on the phone for hours if it's a good conversation. I just hate when you get that awkward silence because there's nothing else to say. And then Alex, like I said, he had that colonoscopy. Steven Surgeon says that box commercial says some false negatives and false positives may occur. False negatives and false positives. What's the use? The use is you can just shit in a box. Send that thing in. I just have to be the post guy. We got to go drop that off. What you mailing today? Shit. You walk in there, ladies behind the thing at the post office. I need to get some postage on this. What you mailing? Shit. No, man, really. I promise you, it is. Let's see. If you're not in my contacts list, I ain't answering. If it's important, leave a message. One vice at a time. I know, Fred, I'm going cold turkey on a bunch. Danny hit the FU button on somebody during our convo yesterday, made me feel special. If I'm talking and somebody calls, I ain't answering. I'm in the lab business. That box ain't reliable. I'll tell you what it is, though. It's a way not to get something shoved up your backside. When your phone rings, answer it, but don't say anything. When you say hello, that triggers the bot. Wait for the caller to say something. Yeah, I just started blocking them. If I see spam risk, I just block from here on out. Jeremiah. Here's Jeremiah's kryptonite. For me, it's extreme weather. Sweat is annoying and cold physically hurts. Also, stank-ass people cause why you comfortable smelling like you died last week and come back to clear your browser history? Jeremiah, I have no idea what y'all wrote there. I need to read that again. But I get the gist of it. I got to thinking about my kryptonite. And I want to say that I'm tough and I'm bad and I ain't got any. But if we're going physical, I've got to the point now where I can't stand a headache. Like, you guys see us out partying a little bit. Not always, but I'm getting better in my old age. I know the point where I need to say, nope, that's enough, because I'm going to wake up in the morning in the fetal position with a headache, and I don't like headaches anymore. So I would say that's my physical kryptonite. Now, Coleman, yeah, it's the sound of a whopper plopper or DC reel for you. Now, when it comes to fishing, that damn whopper plopper sound on a DC reel, because that's what Josh Stewart on it. And never once did I hear it. Never once. That's disappointing. I can't stand a headache hangover. That's why I quit drinking. I didn't know when to stop. Well, I can tell you this too. Used to, you get up in the morning when I had heating and air, we'd be on a job site. We'd go out all night or go whatever we did, and we might go into work on 2 hours of sleep, still spinny a little bit, and we'd go get what everybody called back in the day a Coke and a Dope. A Coke and a Dope is a Mountain Dew and 2 Goody Powders. You guys would be surprised what a Coke and a Dope will do until you've done it for a decade and a half. And then all of a sudden, that stomach don't like them Goody Powders near as much as it used to. So even now, to this day, like, I got to be, and I love a Goody Powder. They work better than anything, but I got to be hurting to take a Goody Powder because it's going to jack my stomach up every time. You dang sure hear that sound with a buzzbait and love it. I do love it. And a buzzbait sounds more annoying, but I got confidence in the buzzbait. I don't have confidence in that whopper plopper. For most people, I know it's a bad back, joint, getting sick, or a toothache. All those put most people down for a while. Toothaches do suck. Toothaches are about as bad as it could be. I'll say this. So last time I got a toothache, I went to that doctor because I was sitting at a Dawson County football game. And you guys got to understand, I grew up in a dentist because I know you as good looking as I am now, and I know you guys ain't going to believe this, but back in the day, we're talking 2nd grade through 5th grade, I was as buck-toothed as a man could be. So I've had false teeth. They're not now. These are real. But there was a time when I had my front 2 teeth were false because they had pulled them out. I've had braces 3 times. I've had 3 sets of corresponding retainers. I was the kid in 4th grade that had the headgear in. You know, I had the head strap, and they're sitting there, and it's got the wires in your mouth like that. I was that kid. I had to take speech because I did this. And I still, every once in a while, if you watch me, you'll see me slur them a little bit on the sound. The. They pulled me out of class twice a week back in elementary school, and I had to go sit in a room with a woman and go, the. So I had my adenoids took out because I couldn't breathe through my nose because my adenoids were swollen. So I couldn't breathe through my nose, and I breathed through my mouth so much that the dentist said, we can't get his teeth to come back because of all the pressure that the air coming out of his mouth, it won't allow it. So listen, when it comes to dental work and all that, I've gone through it all. I've been jacked up better than anybody. So anyway, that being said, had a lot of cavities, a lot of stuff done. My wisdom teeth I still got because they pulled so many teeth when I was younger. My wisdom teeth just came in. But I sat in a Dawson County High School football game, and I put it in a piece of gum. And all of a sudden, I was like, hell, there's something crunchy in that gum. And one of my teeth in the back, I guess, was just bad and had started just splintering. And so I tried the clove oil, tried all that. I tried it for about a week. And I mean, don't get me wrong. It hurt. It hurt like hell. But I just went to the doctor up here. I think he was a Russian doctor too. Dentist. I shouldn't say doctor, dentist. I mean, I guess they're doctors too. I don't know. There's an episode of Seinfeld about that. So I go in there and I'm like, dude, get rid of this thing. How much is it going to cost? It's $200, $300, $350, something like that. And I said, let's do it. And he gave me a couple of shots and he just yanked that joker out. But I will admit, Jeremiah, that toothache that I had corresponding to that sucked. That was really, really bad. I vividly remember a hangover I had in 1971. I was sick for 3 days. Tim Hancock. Well, if we're going to be honest, back in my 20s, I went out with some buddies in Forsyth County. 2 of them. It was the same night, but 2 stories about that. The girl we was running around with had a Geo Tracker. You guys remember that? Kind of like the Barbie Jeep. Yeah, so she had a geo tracker, and we went to what used to be called Foggy Bottoms in Forsyth County, which is basically down by the Chattahoochee River, and it was cornfields and stuff like that. She got that thing stuck, and it was me and my buddy Eric, and then there was her and her friend in the front. Well, we were stuck in the middle of the woods. Somebody had to get us out. So I did. Well, I'm back there just picking. I mean, the whole vehicle only weighs like 325 pounds. But anyway, finally got it unstuck, but she just spun mud all over me. All over me. I mean, everything I was wearing. She did not have a top on the Geo Tracker. So what did Danny do? Stripped down buck naked. I rode in the back. My buddy Eric was in the back. He was not comfortable with that. And we kept cruising up through Dawson County. I mean, not Dawson County, Cumming. Me in the back of a Geo Tracker, all 5'7" of me and my glory, just riding around in the back of that Geo Tracker, having a heck time. But later on that night, I had to go home. And we continued partaking. And instead of being good friends, because Eric, he wasn't about to help me to the door with no clothes on, Eric left me in the ditch in my dad's front yard. So the next thing I remember is my father kicking me. He is kicking me, and I'm like, where am I? Where am I? And I'm laying buck naked in the ditch in the front of my father's house. Oh, the good times. I remember that one. I remember that one. Could you imagine as a dad? I mean, I got a boy. Now, if it was my daughters, I'd be horrified. But I got a boy that if I walked outside, my son is just laying naked in the ditch in my front yard. That is why I'm glad phones weren't around Coleman back in the day. Because I'm telling you, we cruised around for another 2 hours. We'd stop, go to there was a hair salon, Cut Above, I think is what it's called. And everybody just kind of got around. You know how back in the day, we'd park. Everybody get in the parking lot and park and sit on the tailgates. And here I am in that Geo Tracker just in the back of it. What's up, guys? But I can't imagine going out there and seeing my son in that condition. And my dad was an old Marine, God rest his soul. You know, that's one of the ones he should have really beat the daylights out of me. But my dad was pretty cool. Like if I didn't take out the trash or make up my bed, I got my ass beat. Wake up naked in the front yard in the ditch. Son, you need to get in the house. But I remember that's the one that I remember out of all of them, Tim. Out of all of them. So anyway, what kind of story did I just walk into? Gone Fishing with Ed said. It was one of them days. You're going to have to go back to the beginning of this episode and you'll understand how we ended up at that story. But my kryptonite is headaches. Toothaches, you can put right up there with it and all that. But anyway, yeah, so it's been a hell of a morning. And again, like I said, guys, I'm sorry I got to you late. Hopefully I was able to make you laugh a little bit and kind of break up the monotony of the day. So tonight, I'm going to tell you guys tonight, 8 o'clock, we'll have the live well. Kevin Underwood is coming in, and we're going to talk about big baits, big crankbaits, big spoons, and big worms for summertime fishing. And it ain't just something we did set our buddies on the front porch, Chris Bowers. At least you got him to the porch. Eric wasn't helping me. Like, I don't even remember getting out of the Geo Tracker. Jeremiah, I had the flu for the first time as soon as I finished my first bonefish trip this year. Couldn't move, eat, or anything for a good while. It was a misery for 2 weeks. Steven Sturgis says, give this session a like, guys. Yeah, y'all got to hear Danny rant for 48 minutes. Give me a thumbs up. But we're going to talk about that. And in all honesty, though, I fished with Kevin. Kevin was on a couple weeks ago, the night that the power went out up here because somebody ran into the power pole up here. I told her, I said it ain't a foot, but it smells like one. I have no idea, James Ramsey, what the hell that means. But I will say this. Your wife came up here and bought those Underwood baits. She's a very nice woman. Very nice woman. Very busy, but very nice. But I went out, big cranks and big worms count me in. So yeah, I mean, I went out there with Kevin about a month ago, fishing with him on his Patreon, and he was throwing that big old flutter spoon. And so we're going to talk about that tonight. I got 152,000 things to do here in the shop. So if you're in the area and you want to stop by and sit through the podcast, you guys are always welcome. I don't lock the door until about 7:55. And lots of times guys behind us will just sit there and the conversations before the show are great. The conversations after the show are great. You guys are always welcome to come sit in on one. But I want you to join us tonight because I told Underwood, I'm like, yeah, I don't want to just talk about them. Let's teach people how to use them. And so that's the goal tonight. That's what we're going to talk about tonight. So, all right, with that again, it was that Ranger that hit the light pole. It was a Ranger, wasn't it? Was it? I don't know. I was out of town. So anyway, with that tonight, guys, again, I'm sorry for being late. We'll be back tomorrow at the regular time, I promise. Unless my wife kills me tonight. And you guys know I say it all the time. If Danny Pruitt goes missing, you know who did it. Okay? And if some of you guys that don't like me are smart, you really could pin it on my wife. You really could pin it on my wife and get away with it. I'm not suggesting you do that. I'm just saying it's always a possibility. But anyway, you guys come by and see me the rest of the afternoon if you want to, if you're in the area. Come by now. But if not, join us tonight at 8 o'clock, and we'll talk big baits for big summertime bass. I think, Tim, if you're still up late tonight, that'd be a good episode for you. I know you're the same way. I got to get you back on the show too, Hancock, at some point. We need to get you back over here. I know you're getting on up in age and you don't drive as well at night as you used to. I'm just kidding. But it'd be good to see you too. So you guys, seriously, enjoy the rest of your day. Have some fun out there. Don't work too hard. I think you're going to get some pop-up showers and stuff like that. Try to stay dry. And join us tonight right about 8 o'clock, and we will do this all again. And I promise you I'll be in a better mood tonight. I'm not in a bad mood. It's just one of them mornings, guys. So anyway, I appreciate all of you guys. Like and subscribe, all that special stuff that we're supposed to tell you cool kids. And maybe we'll have some drip. No, it ain't drip, tea. We'll have some tea tonight. Maybe we'll have some tea for you guys. We'll continue on that stream. And tomorrow I will have the list of words of what they call Johnsons back in the 15, 16, 17, and 1800s. We'll talk about that. So enjoy the rest of your day. I'm glad you guys could take a little bit of time and join me. I feel a lot better now. So we will see you guys. Roger, all y'all. Love you guys. See you later.